Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled Friday of kids' financial literacy with KiddieNomics. We are uber excited to have you guys join us on this Friday, the Friday before Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. You guys get a long weekend. So hopefully you guys will celebrate safely with your friends and family, right? And eat lots of turkey.
Turkey makes me tired.
Turkey does make you tired. That's a scientific fact. The turkey makes you tired. All right, so let's get started before we introduce our uber special guest, because I'm so happy that she came back on KiddieNomics today. So before we start with Miss Karen, we are going to share my screen as usual. Okay. Let me get this to the beginning. All right, welcome to KiddieNomics. So welcome to all of the new kiddies that have registered this week for KiddieNomics. If this is your first time, hi. Type it in the chat box and just say, hey, it's my first time, and the kids will welcome you in the chat box, okay? And of course, we'd like to thank all of our returning kiddies that are here with us week after week. I'm just opening up the chat box. Oh, all the kids are saying hi. Hi, Akira. Hi, Timmy.
How many people has joined?
I don't know. And hi, Akira. I said hi. All right. And of course, thank you to all the returning kiddies that are here week after week with us. We are uber excited to have you back. So let's get into KiddieNomics. And I'm going to do some housekeeping items. And I know, Akira, you're not new. I know. Okay. All right. Let me move that over. All right. So what is KiddieNomics? For all the newbies that have joined us this week for KiddieNomics, let's talk about, like, what is it? Why are we here every single week on Fridays? So KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8 to 13 to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. That's what we want for you. That's what we want for everybody, right? We want everybody to have an uber successful financial future, right? And to do that, you need financial literacy, right? Right. All right, so let's clean up some housekeeping items, and then we'll do roll call.
Can I try reading?
But I'll do roll call. Yeah, I'll do roll call in a second, okay? So please remember, we like to keep a very safe and happy and healthy community here on KiddieNomics. So always remember that we want you to keep your information private, right? So in the chat box, I never want to see any of, like, how old you are, where you live, like your actual address, no phone numbers, no email addresses, nothing personal, right? Like I'll ask you, what country are you joining us from?
What
Even
city?
if you put the city, that's fine. Don't mind that. But nothing like your personal addresses, okay? Because we always want to keep you guys safe, right? Here on KiddieNomics?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Always also remember that we always record every KiddieNomics webinar. So this KiddieNomics webinar is being recorded right now. And then we upload the video to our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. So you'll be able to watch this video back, and then all of our other videos that we have on our YouTube channel, which is a lot. There's a lot of videos there. There's a lot of content. So if you ever want to catch up on some past missed webinars, there's a lot of topics to cover, so you can check out our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. This video will be uploaded by 8 p.m. Friday night. So tonight, I'll have it up Eastern Standard Time. You'll see this video up, so you can always watch it back. And of course, if you missed something, or maybe you wanted to ask a question because you missed an answer, you can always watch back the video, okay? Awesome. So now, let's do roll call. All right, tell us which country you're joining us from today, or the solar system. Again.
I said I wanted to read.
Oh, sorry. So Timmy is joining us from solar system, universe, Earth, North America, Canada, Ontario, Burlington. You are so multi-talented because you could be in all those places at one time. That is amazing. Amy, you're joining us from Kepler 22b. You know what? You really need to tell us where this planet is,
Or
Kepler
maybe you should just
22b,
search it out.
or where you're getting this planet from. Akira, you're joining us from Canada, and oh, you're doing French Toast Land today. Okay, that's awesome. Micah's joining us from England. Anaya is joining us from Canada, Ontario, Ajax. Good job. Hey, we're in Ajax too, so that's awesome. Brielle is joining us from Canada. Hi, Micah, we missed you. All right, let me see. Oh, Amy, you're back to Kepler 22b, not the French Toast Land today. All right, sounds good. All right, everybody. Thank you for roll call. Mickey, where are you joining us from today?
Let me think. I am joining from, oh, I know, Heaven's Arena.
Heaven's Arena? All right.
From Hunter x Hunter.
From Hunter x Hunter. Okay, so whoever's into anime, then I guess you'll understand where that is. So Hunter x Hunter is an anime cartoon that
It's not.
Okay, well, isn't anime a cartoon? Like
No.
anime is cartoon. Like
It's not.
it's animation.
Okay.
Anyways, she always no, Timmy says no.
See, it's not a cartoon.
It isn't. But it's cartoon
Mommy,
characters.
just because it's animated, it's not a cartoon.
Okay.
Do cartoons fight? Cartoons?
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Do you not see like Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny and all of that? Anyways, okay. It's a Japanese cartoon, says Anaya.
No.
Thank you.
No.
All right. We'll have to agree to disagree on this one. We'll have to
Not a
agree to
cartoon.
disagree. All right, so let's get into our special guest today. Thank you, everybody, for roll call. Awesome. All right. So let's welcome our uber special guest because she is returning to KiddieNomics. She was here a couple of weeks ago and we had a fantastic time with her because we learned so much about asking for what you want. And today is about asking for what you want, part 2. Okay, so this is going to be awesome. So let's welcome Ms. Karen Holland. She is the founder of giftingsense.org, which I've said repeatedly over and over on this program, if you watch back other videos, how much I love Gifting Sense. This site is phenomenal. So Gifting Sense helps kids get ready. Can we do it next week? Because we're kind of like behind time. Please. Okay, so Gifting Sense helps kids get ready for all the personal finance decisions that lie in their future by having them more carefully consider what they might like to receive from an upcoming birthday or holiday gift or back to school wish list item. Okay, how about you read that part?
Okay, what teaches them which teaches them how to think before they buy. Everyone in the immediate and extended family benefits when young people discover that thinking before buying does not mean you never get to buy anything fun, only that you plan your spending to avoid being disappointed and help protect the planet. Learn about DIMS, does it make sense, scores, and how truly easy it is to put grade school students on the path to financial responsibility, created by former analyst Karen Holland. The Gifting Sense is a free and safe way to give your kids one of the best gifts ever, the habit of thinking before buying.
That is one of the best gifts ever. Yay! Nikki, next time you should read this out loud in French, since you do go to French immersion. That was awesome. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and everybody give a big KiddieNomics round of applause to Miss Karen Holland. Hi, Miss Karen.
Hi, Stacy. Hi, Mickey. I'm so glad to be back here. And Mickey, I think you have a birthday coming up.
Yes.
I'm turning 11.
Yes.
So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to have part 2 of how to think before you buy and get what you really want. So if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the why of thinking before buying. we stepped back and we tried to understand why it's just not practical to always get everything we want exactly when we want it, right? We discussed how busy everybody is. Parents are going to work, kids are going to school, everybody's trying to keep the household running, and how social media, even though you don't necessarily see actors and actresses in social media, it's just as produced as a television program, right? And no one has what's called carte blanche, right? Nobody can spend money without thinking about the consequence. Money we spend today is money we don't have to spend tomorrow. We talked about how thinking before buying gives the whole family more time for the activities they truly enjoy. And we had a very quick look at calculating the doesn't make sense score for a possible purchase. So just a quick refresher, remember when kids ask for something without thinking before buying, then they put their parents in the kind of awkward position of having to do all the research that the kid could have done themselves beforehand. And then sometimes they have to manage a son or a daughter that's disappointed, which is not fun for a parent. And it leaves them less time for completing everyday chores, doing their job, looking after the family. But when a child thinks before they buy, thinks before they put something on a wish list, then the parent can very quickly understand what's really being requested, how much money is really being asked for, and therefore what the real trade-off is. I mean, are they asking for $25, $50, $500? Because those are very different decisions, right? Kids tend to understand the decision, even if the answer isn't necessarily what they were hoping for. Mickey, you had a great question a couple of weeks ago, and you said, you know, what happens if you go to all the trouble of researching the full value of a wish list item and trying to understand if you'll really use and appreciate it before you ask for it, and you still don't get a calculated DIM score of 8 or better, which means it won't be recommended. And we talked about how, especially for experiences, there is a silver lining to the fact that we're all getting older. And that is that something that may not make sense today just might make sense in a year or 2 or 3. So this week, we're going to calculate the DIM score for whatever it is you KiddieNomics kids might be looking for. It's time for you guys to get in the driver's seat and set yourselves up for success. So Mickey, is there anything that you're looking for these days?
Yeah,
And what is that?
the iPhone 13 and the Android.
The iPhone 13. Well, isn't that interesting? You would be very unique. Not at all. Every kid that I've had in workshop for the past 10 days. When did it come out? 10 days ago? That's
Yeah.
all I hear about is the iPhone 13.
Literally, doesn't have the iPhone 12. What's the point?
Can I just ask a question? Miss Karen, while we're calculating the DIM score for Mickey's gift, kids, I want you, because this is a really interactive one today, and I want some of you guys in the chat box to put in an item that you may want, because Miss Karen is going to calculate that for you, right, Miss Karen?
Yes, and I hope all the kids remember from a couple of weeks ago that they themselves can calculate the DIM score for anything they want at any point in time. They only need to type GIFTING or because it's this kind of sense, not this kind of sense, into a browser. And when they see that big white cloud on the blue background, you know you're in the right place, right? We've made it a cloud because we like to think that we're helping people's dreams come true. Okay, Mickey, let's do the iPhone 13.
Okay.
I also have done a little homework and we'll be able to compare it to the 12, but I think it's an interesting exercise. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So you would like the iPhone 13, right? We have to agree with the terms of use and the privacy policy, and that's just keeping you safe. So, and we're going to upload an image, particularly for out of town extended family members who might be going and getting you something, and you go to all this trouble and you've asked for, you know, purple boots, and they get to the store and, oh my gosh, There's 4 different kinds of purple boots. So if they actually have a photo, then even if they're not a tech savvy senior, you know, if your grandparents aren't on their devices all the time, they'll be able to say, yep, this is the right pair of purple boots. Okay, Nikki, do you know how much the iPhone 13 Pro costs?
No.
I'm going to knock your socks off. $1,399.
Do the kids in the chat box know how much the iPhone 13 cost? Let me know. Did you know how much it costs? Oh, my Timmy says you can buy a TV for that with a lot of
So you're telling me
question marks.
a square that has a screen is more expensive than the PS5? The PS5 is like $800 something.
That is exactly what I'm telling you. Now, if you go to a cell phone provider to buy that phone, what they will do is they will break that $1,400 up for you into 36 or 48, sometimes less, sometimes more, monthly equal payments. But the bottom line is it's $1,400. And I'm here to tell you that I would never recommend that a first-time cell phone user get any iPhone without purchasing Apple Care. Does anybody know what Apple Care is? Nikki?
It's when you work the Apple?
No. Apple Care for the phone. So
Yeah, that's what I
let's see.
said.
Timmy says, yes, he knows what it is. Does anybody else know what Apple Care is? In the chat box, let me know. Does anybody else? Oh, Layla says no, she doesn't know what Apple Care is.
Oh, Apple Care.
Yeah.
I thought you said Apple Pear. Pear.
Care? No. So
Yeah,
I think most of the kids probably don't know. So let's tell them what.
Okay. So remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the difference between a return policy, which is a retailer's rules for what has to happen for you to bring something back to a store, and a warranty, which are the manufacturer's rules about what has to happen for you to either get your money back or for them to replace something. So Apple understands that phones, they get used all of the time in all sorts of different circumstances, weather conditions, whatnot. So they developed a special warranty program. And if you purchase Apple Care with your iPhone, not for an unlimited number of times, but they will guarantee that they'll fix the phone, they'll use Apple parts. And the big thing that it provides, the big difference is accidental damage protection. Now, this is a wonderful thing because phones drop, screens crack, they fall in water fountains, they fall in toilets, they somehow end up in the bottom of the shower, right? It's happened, it's happened. So especially for a young person, I mean, older people tend not to use their phones quite as much, but for a young person who's going to use their phone all the time, I just don't think it's prudent to buy a new iPhone without Apple Care. So it's more bad news because the iPhone Pro 13, it's $1,400 and Apple Care is $250 for that. If you just get an iPhone 12, Apple Care is $200. Now, at the outset, you think $200, it's a lot of extra money, and it is, except when your phone goes flying out the school bus window onto the pavement and the screen cracks into a million pieces, and then you and your parents are super glad that you bought Apple Care. So point being, it's really only realistic to say that it's $1,650 for this phone. So when we go to the Apple store, we don't have to pay to ship it. I don't think anybody actually pays for shipping on these things anymore. And Mickey, you live in the province of Ontario, right? So I know you think you're going to use this phone a lot. In my experience, tell me if you think this is fair, Mickey. Most people have phones for about 2 years before they want a new one.
Is that fair?
Yep.
Every 2 years? Yeah.
No, I just want to keep the same phone. I don't want
You want to keep this one? So you want to go longer than 2 years? Let's say 3 years.
No.
Yeah, that's good. Because really,
I'll give you 4. I'll
Yeah.
give you 4.
Okay.
Okay.
You're going to use it 12 months of the year. There's no time you're not going to use it. And I've done this so much lately. I'm telling kids, let's go with 49 times a week. I know it's 49 times a day, but 49 times a week sort of makes sense. Check it when you wake up, check it before you go to sleep, check it breakfast, lunch, and dinner, before school, after school. So that's 7 times a day. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the first summary screen we see, right? The initial cost, wow, a whopping $1,650. The tax, because remember, tax is a percentage applied to the purchase price. So when something's more expensive, you pay more tax, a whopping $214.50. So the total is $1,864.50. You're going to use it 10,000 times. So every time you pick that phone up, it costs how much, Mickey?
18 cents.
18 cents. So that probably feels to you like a good cost per use number, right? Right. The only problem is you need $1,800 to make it happen.
That's a lot
But
of money.
don't worry.
I'm broke.
So are you going to middle school? Is an iPhone something that you need? You know, are you hitting a benchmark in your life?
That does not mean.
Is it something that you really need? Like a high school student may need it for.
Yes.
Like you do? So do you already have a cell phone?
Yeah.
You do. So
Yes.
this is, then it's not a new need, it's an upgrade,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So because it's an upgrade, can you sell your older phone? Can you trade in your older phone to reduce the cost of this one?
No.
Okay. Will you need, oh, and we're not donating it to charity. Will you need a case?
Yes.
100%, right? I mean, you just can't buy one of these fancy phones and not have a case. Do you need to learn how to use it well?
No.
No. Remember, question.
These kids, they learn.
I know.
It's like
Question 7. Does everybody remember question 7 from a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
How many of us have had the experience where we ask our parents for something and they're like, I'll tell you what, I'll split it with you. So Mickey, are you willing to put some of your own money towards this expensive birthday gift?
Yes, because
You are. Okay, well, that's great. That's one way to convey to your parents that it really means something to you. Do you know and understand the return policy for this item?
Yes.
you do.
What is it?
What is it?
Oh, I think somebody's got some more research to do. Do you know and understand the warranty for this item? So do you know what spending that $250 on Apple Care really gets you? 100%.
Do you really know?
Yes.
What's the warranty?
If you break your phone, you can't pay for it.
You
Pardon?
don't pay for it again.
Exactly. See, I was close.
Okay, Mickey, I think this is such a big expense. I think that you've got a little more research to do. You know, it's all on their website, right? But ask yourself, Mickey, put yourself 30 years in the future and you're a mom and your daughter's birthday is coming up and who knows what the big communication device will be 30 years from now. But she says, you know, Mom, I really want this thing and it's $2,000. Any chance at all you're going to get it for her if she doesn't have a rock solid understanding of the warranty?
I get it for her only if she pays half. Like,
This is fascinating. You will only get it for her if she pays half.
That more cool.
Okay, Stacy, I think we've got to archive the footage from this week's webinar, and then you know you're going to drag it out in the future, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
Glad
Thank you, Mickey.
recorded.
Okay, and remember a couple of weeks ago, we had that conversation about how if you don't like broccoli or classical music, should you be buying a t-shirt with broccoli or classical musical instruments on the front of it?
If it has a lot of detail, then yeah.
Okay, so if you don't like broccoli and you buy a t-shirt with
Oh,
broccoli
mate.
on the front, is it fair that your friends might start to think to themselves, I think she must really enjoy broccoli. Hey, mom,
Not bad.
it's not that bad. Okay, well, we're always trying to come up with examples that feel,
Okay. So what if the thing was it was a pink shirt?
Ew.
So now
ew, okay, you wouldn't wear a pink shirt because that doesn't tell the world what you want them to know about you, right?
Mhm.
So we just always want to make sure that our purchases are age appropriate and aligned with our values, aligned with what we believe in and our real preferences. So does this iPhone 13 tell the rest of the world what you want them to know about you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so
Okay,
excited for this score.
interesting. Unfortunately, 5.6, not close to 8. But listen, remember, Nikki, what did I say a couple of weeks ago? Thinking before buying does not mean you never get to buy anything fun. All it means is that you plan your spending to avoid being disappointed, reduce waste, and protect the planet. So let's click on the Tell Me Why button and see if there's a way that we can boost the DIM score. Sound good? Okay. So if your DIM score isn't 8 or greater, it won't be recommended. That doesn't mean that you can't still ask for it. That doesn't mean that you can't have a conversation with your parents. You're still going to have that PDF summary, right? We can go back here, right? Let's generate the PDF summary. Remember, there it is. And it shows all the math and all the thinking that you've done, right? So you can still do that. But before you share the PDF summary, you might want to go back and revisit your DIM score calculation and do a little bit more either research or thinking about if this purchase is age appropriate or aligned with your values. So I know, if you can remember, did you really know what the return policy and the warranty were?
No.
So it might be as simple as you just have to go back and research those things, which may take you, what, 10 minutes? And then you can say yes to those questions in the DIM score calculator, and you might get your score a lot closer to 8, which will make you feel better about having this conversation with your parents, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For experiences, there it is again, right? The good news. If an experience that you want to attend or an event that you want to attend isn't necessarily age appropriate right now, I think this might be the only silver lining to getting older. It might make sense in the future. So just hang on to it, because remember, we talked about how second graders don't walk to school by themselves ever, but high school students almost always do, right? And that's because as we grow up and gain more life skill, we're able to do things that we couldn't do in the past. So just because your DIM score isn't 8 or greater, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Now, let's go through, yes.
Karen, sorry. So Layla's saying that she doesn't understand. So Layla, can you put in the chat box what part of it that you don't understand, like why we're calculating the doesn't make sense score on an item for it's to help you get exactly what you're asking for. But can you tell us, maybe, did you not understand a certain section in the DIM score? Can you let me know, Layla? Oh, that's nice, Timmy. So you're saying that when your brother was in grade 2 and I was in grade 4, you walked to school together. That's nice. That's awesome. I'm sure your school was probably very close by. But Layla, when you get a chance, just let us know. Oh, it was 4 minutes away. Awesome. Awesome.
So Layla, we just wanted you to understand, because a couple of weeks ago, when we calculated the DIM score, it was always 8 or greater. And so when it's 8, then the message at the top of your PDF summary says, oh, this gift idea might make sense. But here, because it wasn't greater than 8, it says it doesn't make sense. So we just wanted to show you what you could do to boost the DIM score, right? It's right there on the screen. Doesn't mean you can't still ask for it, but you may want to try and boost your score. And you can either do that by a little more research, remember, for experiences, and we're going to calculate it for an experience next. You have to know when and where it takes place. There has to be a safe way for you to get there. All of those things. In this case, Mickey didn't really know the warranty or the return policy, and so that hurt her DIM score. But the good news is that's easy to fix. That's 10 minutes of work. And, if you really want something, you're going to be more than happy to do the 10 minutes of work required to get the information that your parents need to make a decision. Does that help?
So Layla, because I think Layla's saying that she wasn't here from the beginning. So Layla, we're going to go through a new exercise from the beginning and then let us know if you still don't understand, okay? Awesome. So we're going to do experiences. She says, okay.
Okay. So, Mickey, what are you doing with your friends for your birthday? Your mom gave me a bit of a heads up.
I'm going to the movies and
The movies. Do you remember the movies, everyone? Yay. So I don't have an image of, I know which movie you're going to. I don't have a picture of it to upload into the PDF summary. But kids, if you were shopping in a store, you take the picture on the phone or your mom and dad's phone. And then when you browse, it's the first thing that comes up and it's very easy to embed in the summary. So how much does it cost for somebody your age to go to Cineplex?
So it's $6.99 for kids ages 3 to 13. So that's within her age bracket. So it's $6.99 per ticket.
What?
Okay. But are you going by yourself?
Are you going by yourself?
No.
No. So how many friends are going with you?
And it's your birthday, so are you treating your friends to the movie?
Yes.
Yes. So actually, it's $27. Now, are you lucky enough, Mickey? Do you live beside a Cineplex?
Like 10 minutes away.
10 minutes away. So is it a 10-minute walk or is it a 10-minute drive?
No, to walk there is about like an hour.
An hour. Okay, so
Ten
in
minute
other
walk.
words, how are you going to get there?
Driving.
Pardon?
We're gonna drive.
You're going to drive, right? Do you need a car to drive? Is gas free?
No.
No. So a 10-minute drive doesn't sound too far. Why don't we say it's a $5 gas charge? Because we just want to be really realistic. In this instance, you might be thinking like, oh, a drive to the movies, no biggie. But let's say you wanted to go see a concert at the Air Canada Centre. Then you have to take the GO train. Then it's $20 a person. That's an $80 cost, right? So we just want to experience what the full cost of going to the movies is. So now, are you going to go to the movies? And are you guys, you're not thirsty or hungry when you go to the movies? You just like to go and maybe have a little bit of water and that's it?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So how much do you think you have to budget for, popcorn, drinks, maybe a bit of candy?
What? The snacks are like, the candies are like $5.
Some of them, if not more.
And the drinks are like $8.
$8?
$8?
What did you say?
The drinks.
Yeah. How much did you say they were? $3? No. The drinks are not $3 at the movie theaters.
Sometimes they bundle, like as a fountain soda with popcorn and candy. But, the best case scenario, I think, is $10 a child. I really think that's the best you can do these days.
Yeah, I don't even think $10 would do it. I'd say like around $12 to $15. But I'll say, okay, so why do we say $10 then?
Are we going to say 10? Why don't we say 50? Because we just want it to be really realistic, right?
Yeah.
Now, is there anything else you need for this birthday party?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
Birthday cake.
Oh, her birthday cake.
And food. Like pizza.
Yes, that's the after party.
Okay, so maybe that doesn't need to get included in this.
This is just for the movies.
Right. Okay, so even though, this is very interesting, even though it only costs $6.99 for somebody aged 3 to 13 to go to the movies, for 4 girlfriends to go to the movies and celebrate one of their birthdays, it actually costs
$82. Sorry.
$82. So that's actually more than 10 times the ticket price. Is that a surprise, Mickey? Right. I can tell you, I've been doing this a while. That's a surprise to most kids. Now, if you really have your heart set on going to the movies and you've had a conversation with your parents and they've said that that's something they would be willing to help you do, it's fine. But I do think it's really important that kids understand that that was an $82 trip to the movies. Yes, Stacy.
I have to say, Anaya's comment was hilarious when we said it was $82. She said, they said, "Oh, wow."
Exactly. It's pretty, it's interesting, right? So now, think about this, Mickey. Think about your prior experience calculating the doesn't make sense score and what happens when you have information versus you don't have information, and then think carefully about how you want to answer these questions. So do you know when and where this movie takes place?
Yes.
Yeah, but I just don't know what time.
Okay, but you're going to research that, right? You wouldn't ask your mom to go to the movies if you didn't have any idea which theater, what point in time, what film, right? Because that makes it hard for her to answer the question, right? So, and let's just pretend if you said no, look what happens. Well, you have to. How can she say no if she doesn't even know what you're asking for? Will it help you learn a new skill?
Yeah.
And what's that?
Yeah, about learning responsibility and.
Okay, that's fair. Is it the first time that you're going to be going to the movies without an adult?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fair. That's fair. Here's your first time. Remember, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I know that a lot of families love this question because parents like to walk down memory lane and talk about the first time they went to a movie. Fun fact, the first movie I ever went to was the animated 101 Dalmatians. So when I saw the new Cruella de Vil this past summer, I thought, well, wow, it only took them, I'm not going to tell you how old I am. It only took them a really long time to remake that movie. So it is your first time going to the movies without an adult. Are you going to be missing school to go to this? No.
No.
You're doing it on the weekends, right? But remember, we talked last time, not necessarily a deal breaker, right? There could be a circumstance under which missing school is okay. There's a safe way for you to get you and your friends to get back. You are going with friends. Do you have to buy new clothes?
No.
No.
With some comfy clothes.
Okay, perfect. I don't think it helps you prepare for college unless you want to go to film school.
No.
Okay. Dum, 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 dum. That same question that's always there. Are you willing to put some of your own money towards this?
Yes.
I mean,
No.
it's your birthday. Maybe you don't have to for your birthday.
Yes.
But I don't want her to pay for all of it.
Okay, well, let's answer it in as realistic a fashion as possible. You know, it's possible you might end up where you want to. Okay. And attending this movie tells the rest of the world what you want them to know about you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, look at that. You see? So you should trust yourself. I would always use the DIM score calculator and answer the questions as realistically as possible or as best you understand, and then wait and see what happens to your score. If you don't get the score that you want, you can always go back and revisit it, but it's entirely possible that you'll land where you want to. So the movies are going to cost $82. The DIM score is 9.2. The total cost is $82, as we discussed. We have this PDF summary, right, that we can send, that we can either print it off or email it to people. Now, let's say you wanted to email the results, right? We would put, is it info@KiddieNomics, Stacy?
No, KiddieNomics@gmail.com. KiddieNomics101@gmail.com. 101@gmail.com.
So we would send this to your mom, right? And I'll put my email address in. Okay, Mickey, pretend that you're not really asking for movies for your birthday, because that's a bit of a layup, right? You know your mom and dad are going to say yes to that. But I know, let's pretend that you're asking them for a crazy expensive new phone.
Okay.
And I will be your scribe. Dear mom and dad, as you know, my birthday is coming up, and I would LOVE
iPhone 13.
13. I know it is really
Expensive.
However, as you will see in the attached PDF summary, I will use it over. Do you remember how many times you were going to use it?
49.
49.
49 a week, 12 months of the year, 4 years. It was over 10,000 times.
More than that.
Yes, it was over 10,000.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think we should also buy Apple Care and a case to protect now, sometimes have you guys heard this phrase around your house? If you're buying something really expensive, it's not just a purchase, it's not just shopping, it is if you buy stocks and bonds, they are a
investment.
investment. So a phone that costs almost $2,000 is an investment. Now, here's where the interesting part comes in. Do your grandparents often ask your mom and dad what you would like for your birthday?
Oh,
Yes.
wait.
What about your aunts and uncles?
Do they ask? Do they call and ask what do you want?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Mickey, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes, even though people really care about us and they go to a lot of trouble and effort and expense to buy us something and wrap it and deliver it on our birthday, it's not quite what we hoped for, right? We may not use it to the full end of its natural life cycle. So would you be happier if all of the extended family members who normally buy you a birthday gift contributed towards this iPhone to make sure that you could get what you really want?
Yeah, that's what they
So,
If everybody pooled their money.
right. And a couple of weeks ago, we talked about that, and that's called crowdsourcing, right? It's also called being, not wasteful and respectful of people's, not only their time, but their money. So you could put right in this email, I know that, what do you call your grandma and grandpa? Everybody's got different names, Mimi and Pop Pop.
Nana
and Grandpa.
Nana and Grandpa, and my aunts and uncles. Oh, I didn't spell either one right. Look at that. And I'm wearing my glasses. What's going on? Often ask you what I would like. Can we talk? Maybe it makes sense to ask them to contribute to this one larger, more meaningful gift. Once more with feeling. Gift. There we go. Love you lots. Mickey. What do you think?
Yeah.
So we press send email, and your mom now just got an email And you can do the same thing, but you may want to do it for an iPhone 12. Do you want to whip through it for an iPhone 12 now? See the difference? Okay, let's do that. We're going to go right here, right, and get ourselves another tab, Gifting Sense. So remember, kids, we just type Gifting Sense into the browser. We see that fluffy cloud on the blue background. You know you're in the right spot. Click on Get Started. It's an item. Phone is electronics. And this is the much more reasonable iPhone 12, which, because kids everywhere always want iPhones, of course, I happen to have a handy picture of that. And there it is.
Wow.
And I will tell you, Nikki, I've done a lot of research on the difference between the 12 and the 13, because this is just what kids want everywhere I go. And the only real difference is that the iPhone 13 on the video setting, it locks in to whatever it is you're videotaping. Now, if you're Steven Spielberg and you're doing a remake of E.T., maybe you need that. I don't know if you're a middle school student in Ajax, if you need that. It's up to you. So the iPhone 12 with the same amount of memory and the same size screen is $799. Oh, wait, I have to add Apple Care. So, and the Apple Care is $200. So it's $999. But that is, if you remember, $850 less. We're not going to do shipping, and we are in Ontario. Oh, and we're going to use it. Okay, you really thought 4 years. Your mom and I aren't convinced, but we're gonna give it to you because
Right?
your birthday's coming.
Yep.
And we said 49. I know kids say like 1,049, but let's do it. Okay. So now all of a sudden, do you remember what the cost per use was of the iPhone 13?
18 cents.
18 cents. And what's the cost per use of the iPhone 12?
11 cents.
Ooh.
Now, we know that in terms of actual dollars spent, there was like an $800 difference. So Mickey, let's think about the trade-off. Would you rather have the iPhone 12 and a brand new TV for the whole family to watch in your family room? Or would you rather have the iPhone 13?
I would have an iPhone 12, but we are
Good answer.
But I take that TV and I put it in my room.
Okay,
And I
well,
put that- the TV
remember, we're just trying to set you up to have a polite and structured, rewarding conversation with your parents. So you can negotiate where that TV goes, right? And then we've answered all of these questions. So you already have a phone. So this is an upgrade. You can't sell your older one. It's not going to be donated. You do need a case. You don't need to learn how to use it. You know that. You said you would spend some of your own money. You're going to work on this, right? Can I click yes for warranty and return policy? Will you give me your commitment that before your birthday, you're really going to research those two things?
I maybe forget, but I'll try.
Okay, well, if you're going to forget, then I'm going to say no. And look, same score. But here's the good news. So your DIM score is not 8 or higher. This item will likely be harder to get. Why don't you save this item and consider another? You can always come back, or you can click on the Tell Me Why button. And the Tell Me Why button goes through for items and experiences the different ways that you can boost your DIM score. Now, the girl who didn't understand earlier, Stacy, does it make more sense to her now?
Layla, I think that was you, Layla. Now that we've calculated both an experience and using the iPhone 12, does this make sense as to what you would use Gifting Sense for and getting your DIM score? Does it make sense score? So Layla, can you let me know? Because you were in the chat. Does this make sense to you now? Let me see the time. Oh, we don't have time to do an exercise with one of the kids.
So I hope that everybody understands how really easy it is to calculate the DIM score on their own, on a phone, on an iPad, on a desktop, on a laptop. You literally, when you go and type in purple boots or, new Marvel movie or a song that you want to hear, it's the same thing. Just type into your browser, Gifting Sense. You don't have to register. You don't have to put an email address in. There's no paywall. It's a totally free public good. So you can do it all on your own. And I hope that you can see how calculating the DIM score for something, thinking before buying, can really help your family avoid unpleasantness, reduce waste, and protect the planet. Does it make sense to everyone?
So let's ask the kids, would you guys use Gifting Sense doing the DIM score for now for the things that you really want to take to your parents to ask them for the item or the experience? Would you guys use this site? Can you let me know in the chat box? Mickey says yes. Micah says yes. Fortune says yes, which is awesome. Who else says yes or no? Let me know. Oh, Akira says yes. That's awesome. So I think the kids are saying, yeah, they would now use this. They would now use this to calculate what they really want, to ask for what they really want.
Okay, and of course, we think that's really great news, right? Remember, you just type Gifting Sense into the browser, you see the cloud, you click on Get Started button. Don't be upset if you don't get a DIM score of 8 or greater. It doesn't mean you can't still have a really great conversation with your parents. And I can tell you from experience that kids are surprised to see how quickly their parents get behind a request when it's backed by evidence of thought. Similarly, parents are surprised to see that sometimes kids change their mind all on their own. They go through this process and they're like, you know what? I don't really know if I'm going to wear orange pants all that much. Maybe I should save this request for something else that I'll use a lot more. So we really hope at the Gifting Sense project that you understand that DIM scores can help you think before you buy, ask for only things that you'll really use and appreciate, help your parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles avoid not only wasting money, but the time. It takes so much time these days, right? We have to still line up at some stores, maybe take time off work, and then we've got to get it home and we've got to wrap it. It's a lot of effort. It's not just the money that's spent to buy you a gift. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. And then we can have a great conversation about it because you've given them all the information they need. And things that we buy because we really love them and we use them a lot, where don't they end up?
In the landfill.
Right.
Right, because they're helping.
Right.
Planet.
So thinking before buying is good news for kids because they get what they would really like to receive for a holiday or a birthday gift. They're learning how to be financially responsible. They're learning how to manage temptations, right? We find there's no more fear of missing out when you can quickly go through this process and discover, oh, actually, you know what? I don't think I'll wear those orange pants. Then you're not so upset when you don't get them, right? So there's all these good things. And then the one last thing that we find happens in families is that calculating the doesn't make sense score for a possible purchase helps develop this thing we call MPE. That's money, privilege, empathy. Now, sometimes kids think their parents are like, oh, back when I was a kid in school and we rode in a covered wagon and we had to shoot off the hawks. They were coming down and trying to lift us up by our shoulders as we walked into the school. But when you go through this process, you're going to hear about all sorts of experiences from when your parents were kids. The first time they got, when I was growing up, I remember begging my mother for this thing called rainbow jeans. They literally had like a rainbow on the back pocket. And, I really wanted them so badly. And I remember my mother saying, well, you could have, 3 pairs of these pants, or you could have those 1 pair of rainbow jeans. And I really wanted them. I convinced myself they were the answer to everything. And I was riding my bike to school and I saw my sister on the sidewalk and I was fooling around, making fun of her, and guess what happened? My bike slipped on wet leaves on the ground, disaster. Both knees down on the pavement, big hole in the knee of the rainbow jeans. That happened a long time ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. Now, if I'd had 3 pairs of jeans, it wouldn't have been quite as big a disaster, but I had 1.
Yes.
So calculating the DIM score helps you develop money privilege empathy. You remember, you can find out what your parents earned for part-time jobs, what they wanted to spend their money on, the first time they really felt their parents helped them get something fun and exciting. If you don't understand using the DIM score calculator or how it can help you, we hope that you'll contact Stacy or Mickey, or you can just write to us at Gifting Sense, because we really want to help you understand how rewarding and powerful a life skill is thinking before buying. And if you do understand it, you can also let us know, because we love to hear success stories. We hear them all the time, but I never get tired of hearing them. May all your future consumer decisions be thoughtful and rewarding. Because if that's the case, what it will mean is that you will have sharpened your pencil. Do you remember, Stacy? The kids don't know this phrase anymore, but you know, a million years ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth and I went to school and there were no computers and we had to do everything, Mickey, with paper and pencil. There used to be this old phrase, particularly when you were doing any calculation that had anything to do with money, and they would say, sharpen your pencil. And that was to encourage you to be really mindful about dollars and cents. So in today's modern digital world, we like to think of calculating the DIM score as the equivalent to sharpening your pencil. And it means you're only going to ask for things when you really understand their full value, which also means you understand the inherent trade-off, right? You now understand, Mickey, maybe the iPhone 13 isn't worth it because if you get a 12, there's the possibility that there's enough money left over for your family to do something else fun. It also means that none of your parents or your grandparents or your aunts or uncles, like we talked about, are running around getting stuff that, you know, earrings you don't want, gloves you aren't going to wear, books you aren't going to read. And that is good for not only you and them, but the planet. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Karen. That was awesome. I think the kids are really shocked to learn how expensive it is to go to the movies, to get asked for that expensive phone. That was awesome. Thank you so much. If any of the kids have any questions online in the chat box, let me know. Any questions? No? I will wrap up now. So we're gonna wrap up before I have a few minutes before we usually end by 6 o'clock. So just give me a few more minutes and we will wrap up, okay? Miss Karen, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so final question. What would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world, because we truly believe that here. With financial literacy in your back pocket, because this is a great skill that you're learning, I cannot even imagine all of the changes that you guys are going to make in this world. You guys are going to be so impactful. And financial literacy will only help you guys get there to accomplish whatever dream it is that you want to be, to do, or to create, whatever that is. Financial literacy will help you get there. So we believe it's real change that impacts the world. So we love to call you guys our young financial literacy ambassadors. What is an ambassador? An ambassador is a messenger or representative. And that's you guys. Like, you guys are ambassadors out there. You guys tell people all about KiddieNomics and the things that you've learned. You inform your parents, because I know a lot of you kids have information sessions like after a KiddieNomics webinar to see what it is that you did learn and how you can maybe incorporate it into your own family dynamic. So I'm so super happy. I get messages from parents and from you guys telling me how much, like, you've shared it with your cousins, or you went to a gathering and you were telling everybody about credit cards or credit, or how to get the dim score on something. So this is so awesome. And that's why you guys are our young financial literacy ambassadors. And we like to say here on KiddieNomics that knowledge is our
superpower.
Superpower. So the more that you share it, the stronger you become, literally, right? So you share your knowledge out there. It just shows, it will sharpen your skills. It will show how much you know, and it will make you stronger. So that is awesome. All right, so let's talk about the next couple of weeks. We're going to have Mr. Joshua Finlay come on, and we're going to talk about on Friday, October 15th, we're going to talk about buying your first car. So Mickey's all excited. She's been asking about like how to drive. She's 10.
I know how to drive.
She's 10, but this has been a thing for her. So we're going to talk about buying your first car and what does that mean? Okay. And then the following week, we're going to talk about on Friday, October 22nd, we are back with Mr. Joshua, and we're going to talk about leasing versus buying a car, which is a very, very, very important question because a lot of adults have to make this decision. And a lot of adults, yes, and a lot of adults don't know the difference between leasing versus buying. So you guys are going to get a good lesson on that, and you'll probably be able to inform your parents and show them something that they probably maybe not know about. So that's going to be super fun. And then I will update the schedule as we go along. Okay. All right. Also, listen, let's talk. I always want to hear from you guys. This program is for you. I need to know different topics that you want to learn about week after week. Once you share it with me, I find an expert to come on, like our wonderful expert, Miss Karen, and come on KiddieNomics and share their knowledge. But I need to know topic ideas. So if you have a topic idea, please, please, please send me an email at kiddienomics101@gmail.com. And the disclaimer always is never contact me or send me an email or anything without your parents' permission, right? So everything we do on KiddieNomics, even if you're going on giftingsense.org, do it with your parents' permission, okay? Don't do anything on KiddieNomics without your parents' permission. So, in so saying that, feel free to send me an email once you get your parents' permission. But of course, if you do like and find value in the information that you learn on KiddieNomics, we would love, love, love if you like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Remember, all of our videos are uploaded to our YouTube channel, or KiddieNomics YouTube channel, so you can watch this video back and all of our other videos. They're all posted there, so you can always catch up on KiddieNomics. So if you did miss the first session with Miss Karen, which is part 1, which was a couple of weeks ago, then you can always watch it back and then watch this one again, and it'll probably make a lot of sense when you put it together. All right. Okay, kids, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, right? Thank you, Miss Karen. This was awesome. You kids have a good long weekend. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week. All right? Bye.